should be rocking and rolling. So, all right.
All
Well,
right.
well, welcome to anybody and everybody watching this at whatever time to episode. God, I think it's like 35-ish of Untitled. I can't start over. We're live, but it's a good thing that nobody's here. Um, so welcome
Yes.
everybody to welcome everybody to Untitled Underqualified. We uh we are very happy to have a Twitter mutual of mine on the show, Amy, to talk about a very heavy subject, and it's gonna be a rough one, unfortunately. So if you are somebody who isn't able to handle the topic of domestic violence and abuse, then that is perfectly fine. Um, and yeah, you don't have to watch this. That's totally fine. I get it, 100%. So yeah, Amy, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Amy. And I I joined Twitter a decade ago, but then I got active during the pandemic and I've met some really amazing people. I live in Iowa. I'm a huge Hawkeye fan. And I was married for 12 years. I am no longer married because I'm a huge Hawkeye. I got out of that. So yeah, I work two jobs, kind of. So I have my day job that's terrible and I hate it, and then I have my couple nights a week job that I love. I take care of a little boy who is medically fragile, and he just absolutely lights up my entire world. So I have 4 cats at home, and I am recording my first podcast episode next week.
Ooh.
So I have my own podcast, and I talked about it for years, and finally I'm just doing it. And so I'm super nervous about that, but excited at the same time. And
Oh, you're gonna be fantastic.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I still am not entirely sure how I'm going to talk for that long, but also I never shut up, so I'm sure I'll be fine. I love public speaking. I absolutely love it.
Sure.
Absolutely love it. So yeah, and I'm drinking spotted cow beer right now, and I'll probably grab a margarita later after I finish this, or
there you go.
Whiskey, something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm drinking watermelon limeade G Fuel, and I think I like it. I actually think that I like it.
Nice. Okay, so you mentioned that before we started this whole thing, and I was like, that might be a good Jello shot. Like,
it's
because I make the Jello shots for everything. It's kind of what I do, and I'm over the top about it.
You seem to be good at it. You seem to be very good at it.
Yeah, I'd love to do it as a business, but requires a liquor license and all that, and I don't. That feels like a lot of work, and I just want to do the fun parts of it. So I don't know. But so I was thinking about that anyway. I was like, oh, that could be a Jello shot, like lime vodka and watermelon jello. I
Yeah.
I might try that one. I might try that one.
It's
We'll see.
interesting. It's interesting just because like the lime flavor is coming out a lot more in this than I thought it would. Because
Oh,
I'm not a
okay.
big artificial watermelon person.
I know so many people who are like that, and that's like my favorite.
I
Excuse
artificial flavor
me.
to me is just kind of a tough thing. 'Cause, like I'm not a big blue raspberry guy either.
Uh-huh.
But I love cherry. God, cherry is so good.
Oh, interesting. I I like strawberry artificial flavor, but I do not like strawberries. Um,
I like some artificial
mm,
strawberry. Strawberry soda, love it.
love strawberry soda.
It gives me this
Um,
weird little kick in the back of my throat, and I'm like, mm,
oh, I like it. Yeah,
every.
yeah,
But like, I don't know, artificial flavor for me is just one of those like tough things. I'm like, if it's
yeah.
if it's
Some of them are
too
just, eh,
artificial
but
banana, it makes me gag.
those are my favorite runts.
Oh, I can't. I give them
Are
away. I'm like, hey, do you want?
the banana runts are my favorites, and all of my friends used to give them away too. And I was like, I'll take them. I'll
I
take
mean,
them.
yeah. It's one of those things where it's like you're just gonna get free food, free candy all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm okay with it. Totally okay with it.
So, uh,
Watermelon Jolly Ranchers are the best ones,
I do like those.
obviously.
I do like those.
And Dum Dums, watermelon Dum Dums, clearly the best.
I'm pretty picky on Dum Dums. I'm pretty picky on
Or
them.
maybe cream soda ones are good too. But
Love the cream soda ones. Those ones, they're just so
yeah,
vanilla-y.
yeah. Who knew vanilla could work in a sucker?
I know. I know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I didn't bring you on here to talk about Jello shots. Unfortunately, we have an actual
And
topic
artificial
for tonight.
flavoring. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have an actual topic tonight, and that
Yeah.
topic is not a fun one. So, because I'm a really big, smart um, genius, I was holding a lobby for the first like 2 minutes where we were talking. Luckily, like as you started talking about yourself, I was like, oh no, I gotta actually go live. Damn it! So then, so that's all out there. It's gonna be on the VOD though. Luckily, um,
Okay.
but yeah, if you are somebody who is unable to listen to the topic of domestic violence and abuse, then feel free to click off the stream. We appreciate your viewership, and more than anything, we just don't want you to we just don't want you to end up in a bad mental place again. So, with that being said, there was some news that came out a couple weeks ago, and I had initially wanted to like do a quick reaction kind of thing to it, see how that worked out for me, and I decided against it, um, because not a lot was known about everything. But a couple of weeks ago, a streamer by the name of Amaranth goes live to tell the world that she has a husband. And very famously, she is known for, on top of being a streamer, also being a sex worker, making a lot of money doing that. She's averaging about $900,000 a month. No, a quarter. Sorry, um, on her OnlyFans, and it was kind of this whole thing where she was supposed to be single to keep up this illusion, this fantasy. Um, and I asked Amy to kind of take a look and give thoughts on it because she is a survivor of domestic violence. I was gonna be coy and like beat around the bush with all of it, but then I was like, I'm not smart enough to be able to keep that up.
It's all
so
good.
so yeah, for would you like to explain any of that situation, or would you prefer that I do it?
Um, I will let you. So I just know a little bit about it.
Mm.
I don't. I admittedly didn't know who she was or anything like that until I found out about her situation,
Are you saying that you touch
and then
grass? You go outside? Is that what you're
uh,
saying?
yeah, occasionally I sit on my porch and watch TV. Yeah, um, so yeah, but I mean, listening to a video and going through and looking at situations was very similar. Uh, that are very similar to mine. So, um, but I'm sure you know considerably more detail
I
than
do.
I have found through Google searches and uh, YouTube videos and stuff. So I'll let you tell. Basically.
I do. So, really, this starts just about a month ago, I think it was. Amaranth tweets out that her OnlyFans got hacked, and they actually tried to take all of the money from it. You're only allowed to withdraw so much, and it has to be through wire transfer every time for safety reasons. And OnlyFans wasn't able to verify the banking information that they gave, that these people gave the website, and so they alerted Amaranth. They were like, "Hey, is something going on here?" And she got it stopped. She total had about close to $1 million sitting in there, and because she makes so much money, she can only withdraw once a quarter, and it's a special transfer that OnlyFans does with her. Um, and so that happens. And then about a week later, she comes out and starts this stream. She's, I think, a couple hours into the stream when she gets a phone call. And it's her husband. He's pissed. And apparently, this is something that happens pretty often, where he, for the last few years, has made her push that she is single to keep up this illusion, this fantasy for all of her sex work stuff. Um, he makes her stream with cleavage. He makes her do all sorts of things. And he is the one that controls all the financials. So he's calling her and he's just berating her, threatening her. Eventually, he threatens to leave her with about $1 million total. And that's it. Out of the probably 8 or 9 million that they have, that would be him taking a lot. And they are now separated. Uh, Apparently, she is working on divorce, and she showed a lot of the things that he's done, like throwing away her luggage on a trip one time because she wasn't responding to his calls. Um, she said that he broke her door because she tried to lock the door behind her and he was mad, which is terrifying to think about. And the problem is, I'm sure that he was a great guy to her, and either until she got famous or got married. I don't know which, probably whichever came first. um, but like, it's just a scary thought. And then she just disappeared for a while with her last stream shutting off at a very abrupt moment. The door starts to open up right as somebody had asked her if she took her meds. And she looks at them and goes, "Why would you say something like that?" Right as a door's opening behind her. And then the stream just abruptly cuts out, almost like the internet went out. There were multiple people that were trying to reach out to her. They ended up reaching her assistant, who said that she's fine. She's doing all right. She's not with her husband right now. And then a couple of days later, Amaranth goes live again, and she's just wearing baggy clothes, looking like an average Joe. And she's all like, "There's a lot that I can do now. can, uh, I can wear what I want. I can take days off. I can, because there were quite a few events that friends of hers had put on uh, that she had been invited to, but she always had to decline because if she's not streaming or making content, she's losing money. And
Mm-hmm.
he didn't like that. So now
Yeah.
he's trying to get 10% of all of her future earnings. And I think what disgusts me the most about the situation, having seen it all transpire, is that people are mad at her for faking that she was single. People are people are saying that they're going to charge back for subscribing to her OnlyFans. She lost a ton of subscribers on Twitch, which you have to pay for a subscription on Twitch to support your favorite creators. And she was making a lot of money off of that from a lot of dudes that were not there to watch content.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know kind of some of your thoughts on it.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, when they think of domestic violence or domestic abuse, they just think of hitting and bruising and that kind of thing, which my ex-husband did as well. He said, "I'm not abusive because I don't leave any bruises, Amy,"
No.
which is not true. It's not at all
Yes.
true. So just um,
Oh.
being in the situations like, and I saw the video of the broken door. I did see that online when I was looking, um, and it can be nothing. Like it could, the reason that type of stuff happens usually is nothing at all. So, my ex-husband and I one time were in the car on our way to somewhere to visit his family, and um, he took his muddy shoes and he put them on the back seat of the car on the cloth seat. I didn't say anything. I just reached around and picked them up and I put them on the floor. They had wet mud on them.
That's reasonable. Like,
That's all I did. I said nothing. I didn't get mad at him for it or anything like that. But he flew off the handle and he I don't remember what he said. I know there was yelling, and then he took his fist and he punched the roof of the car, and the visor was there, and it broke the mirror of the visor. Like that's how hard he hit it. And then it was, he didn't know why. It just made him so mad all the time. Like, why couldn't I just do something? Like. So I mean, it was stuff like that. I mean, and it makes zero sense whatsoever. But he was also another thing. You couldn't wear certain things, like so. I'm 5'4", and he was 6'1", and
we love a short king, right?
I love high-heeled shoes. And I had a couple pairs of shoes that were 5-inch heels, and I was not allowed to wear them when I was with him, if I was going with him somewhere, because it got me too close to his height. So 5'4", I add 5 inches. I'm 5'9", and he's still got 4 inches on me, but I was too close to his height, so he wouldn't let me wear those shoes. And so, I mean, and it's like stuff like that's still abuse, like that, controlling things. but the part that with Amaranth's story that really struck with me was the financial control. And I don't think a lot of people understand that financial abuse is abuse. And it is because it's not just about the money. It's about you can't leave because you can't afford this. Like, and my ex-husband didn't work. I supported us. I worked multiple jobs to support both of us. And he has a medical condition, but he still refused to file for disability too.
It's the
But
easiest money of your life.
yeah. So I was making all of the income. I was the only one who had income for 12 years of our marriage. And, but I wasn't allowed to buy things. I wasn't allowed to go out and do things. Like, we would go out for lunch and we would go to a Mexican restaurant, and I was able to get one tamale and a side of rice, and then I had to drink water. And he got, because that was under $5. And for me, and then he would get a couple of drinks and he'd have a couple beers and a whole dinner and everything. So, I mean, like things like that. Or
going to a Mexican place and only spending $5 for food is stupid.
Yeah, right.
There's
Exactly.
there's so much good food that's sitting right around like the $9 to $12 area.
Yeah. Even on Dollar Taco Night, Tuesday night, I went out. We went out for dinner to Dollar Taco Place, and I absolutely got 6 tacos, and I ate them all.
There you go.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and the margarita flight, and all of it. Just bring it all on. Yeah. So, like, he would get whatever he wanted, and I had a limit. Even though he wasn't working and I was. So, like, Amaranth making all of the money and her husband just takes it. That anytime we had any type of medical issue, if we didn't have insurance at the time, whatever we had to do, we paid for his, but mine was a little different story. So, genetically, I have terrible teeth and they break. And my mom does, my dad does. Like, it's just.
Have you asked them
screwed.
not? Have you asked them not to break?
Yes, yeah, I've tried that. It didn't work.
Asshole.
Yeah, I know, right? So he broke a tooth and he had to have a root canal and whatever it took to save his tooth. And it ended up costing me about $1,200.
That's not worth it for a tooth. I'm getting that tooth.
No,
I'm getting that fucker pulled.
Mm-hmm. So for him, we had to pay that because he wasn't going without a tooth.
I like my teeth. They're not worth $1,200.
Yeah. Me, I broke a tooth, and he said, "Well, we can't afford to pay for that, and so you just have to get it pulled, and you have to go to the free clinic." So I had to go to the free clinic to get my tooth pulled.
Free dentists exist?
Yeah. if you make a little bit of money. So yeah. And it wasn't fun at all, obviously,
I'm
but
sure.
so, and then he said, well, we can't afford for you to go to a real dentist or a dentist, so you need to go to the free clinic. And then they referred me to someone in town who was awful, but they paid for it. But no, like you get the Novocaine, but no anesthesia. And the place that I had it done wasn't close to home. And so he took me there and dropped me off and then went somewhere and did something and then wouldn't answer his phone or anything when I was done. So I sat on a park bench having just gotten a tooth pulled for 3 hours waiting for him to come pick me up. So like it's like stuff like that. Like he wasn't working. I should have been able to keep my tooth and not him. You know.
You should have been. You should have
But
been able to do so much.
yeah. But that's controlling. Narcissists are like that. And it's unfortunately it's textbook, but they do things like that. They keep you away from people. They do whatever they can to make you not feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't do that. So I think Amaranth's husband probably knew exactly what he was doing, pushing her to continue to be single, to bring or appear single, to bring in all of that extra money that he could then take when he decided to ruin her career. So he was biding his time until he could get to the point where he could attempt to ruin what she was doing. Um, I it, I doubt it was an accident. I would be very surprised if it was. I think he probably did exactly what he had planned on the whole time. Um,
That's definitely
yeah,
a perspective that I wouldn't have had because
yeah,
I think he wasn't ready to give it up yet. Personally,
uh-huh,
I think he was like, dude, I've got the golden goose right here. I'm because she was claiming that he at that time that stream that she busted him, that he had told her that she needed to do a 24-hour stream, otherwise he was going to kill her dogs.
oh my goodness.
um Here I have. Let me find it. I typed out that entire phone conversation. Um, and then I you and then I got an email from work saying, "Hey, what are you typing in your what's this?"
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, "Oh no, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's just a little side project." Um, so yeah, so she says, "Why did you say you were going to kill my dogs?" And he just says, "Leave the house." Doesn't answer it.
mm-hmm.
She says, "Okay, I can leave. Wait, you know what? I shouldn't leave the house because my dogs are here." He says, "Well, then take the dogs and leave. You're asking a question and you're interrupting my telling you, literally." Um, it sounds way funnier the way that he speaks because
Yeah,
he's not. It's like stream of consciousness because he's just pissed. You know,
yeah,
I'm sure you've seen that firsthand where it's like somebody's pissed, so they're just saying what comes to their mind.
yeah. Um, Especially since they don't think that you're ever going to stand up to them.
Mm.
Um, they think you'll always be there, and you're never going to do anything or going to leave.
And then once the jig is up,
Yeah, and they don't know what to say because they've had this all planned out. He, I would guess he had a plan just in case the whole time. Because when a narcissist can no longer control you, they will attempt to control how other people see you.
I heard that he did make a statement. I haven't sought it out. I haven't sought it out because I really don't care what he has to say.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm 99% sure that like what is being portrayed to us isn't exactly 100%, you know, accurate from Amaranth, but that's not what matters. It's getting the message across more than being like, these are all of the exact facts. You can go and check my citations. And
yeah. And I think that, and that's we run into that problem a lot. Like, there's three sides to every story: person A, person B, and the truth. You know, I mean, because we all remember things or see things the way our experiences have taught us to see those. So is her side all the way? No, but like somewhere in the middle, there is something. But the thing with an abuser or a narcissist is they are going to do whatever they can to make themselves look better. My ex-husband did not tell anyone. He wanted to speak to my parents individually without me there. When we told them, or when I told them that we were splitting up, and I found out he told everybody I was an alcoholic, and that I needed to get help, and he couldn't live in the house with me and be around that anymore. And yeah, so towards the end, like right before we split up, I admittedly was drinking a lot, like really a lot.
It was definitely magically
as soon as he was gone, I stopped for quite a while. I didn't do that. Yeah, that works out. But so he told everybody that we were splitting up because I had a drinking problem. Not that I had asked him to leave because I was afraid to come home, or that he wouldn't tell anybody that. He knew that. I had said that many times, but that didn't fit his narrative of being the victim. So, I mean, so Amaranth's husband had her in a place where I'm sure he's reveling in the fact that she's losing these subscribers and she's losing money, even if he is trying to get 10% of everything. But he has her where he wants, you know, it's his recourse. So being able to control the situation of her being single, and then, oh, you crossed me, so you know what, now everybody knows you're married and it's going to cost you, kind of thing. So um
And I've never understood the hatred for, the idea of not publicly putting your relationships out there while doing sex work and
mhm.
stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, what they're selling isn't reality; it's a fantasy. That's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like you're not going to Pornhub to watch a tutorial on how to crochet a hat.
Yes.
You're going there because you want to see something that you like a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
um
so like I get not publicly being all like, oh guys, by the way, I'm married, because that's not the point.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. um I have friends who have OnlyFans, and um one of them doesn't have her relationship status on there. And one of them collaborates. Um, and I think both work. And if that's what you want to do, then absolutely fucking do it. I mean,
You're making money, so I mean,
yeah, yeah. And it's not so much about money helps. Yes, the money helps. Um, I am a retired burlesque dancer, and so I did burlesque for 5 6 years, 5 years. Uh, so up until COVID started, and um, the studio that I went to had to close because of COVID. So, but it's that helped me um, get my confidence back.
mm,
So not once did I ever get on a stage for other people. I did it for me, and I did it for my self esteem. And I think that a lot of, and I did not get paid to do it. And it's different than, um, it's different than a lot of things. I think a lot of people have misconceptions about
mm,
burlesque. Um, it's very, it's artistic and everything. Not saying that other things aren't, but um, I did it for me, and I think that a lot of people, men and women, who are in that, who have OnlyFans accounts, or they strip, or sell their underwear. I mean, absolutely
mm.
good for you. Fucking do it if it makes you feel good about yourself. Absolutely do it.
Sure.
Which is completely different than how I grew up. Like, completely different. So,
I really do hope that parents aren't telling their kids, "Hey, if you ever need to find yourself, grab a thong, grab a pair of stilettos, shake that
yes,
ass."
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I hope that parents
I'm,
are being a little bit more sensible in their
I'm,
teachings.
I'm sure there's parents out there who do that, but whatever. Um, but so I think a lot of people, there's different ways you end up in sex work. Um, but you do it for yourself. You do it because you need money. Um, but if it's fulfilling for you, absolutely do it.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that yes, you are selling the fantasy and stuff. So I kind of get that, but
Like I
um,
I should say I get
at
the
the same,
concept,
yeah,
not what he was doing.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm also I'm also the type of person who my relationship status is or my relationship is not something that I put on social media, really. Because I did that with my ex-husband on Facebook. He's so great. He's so wonderful. Let's keep up this mask and this ruse of a happy, healthy marriage, you know? And so now, and I'm completely jaded about that. And so now I look at stuff like that and I'm like, oh, that's not real, you know? And I just, so I get not putting it out there as a matter of privacy because my relationship with somebody is not anybody else's business, except for ours. And so I get keeping that a secret, maybe not even just because of what she does or the fantasy that she's selling. Maybe she just wants to have part of her life that's private.
This does tend to be the case with people like her that are very prominently online. I mean, she made like $1.2 million a month from May to July. That's insane.
That is insane.
I could never dream.
That's ridiculous.
But and like when you're doing something like that, if the other person also isn't prominently online, then you know, their name being out there isn't a big thing unless like, you know, so like a good example would be there's this streamer named Dr. Disrespect who is a character. He literally is just a caricature of something. He was actually on Thursday night, no, not Thursday Night Football, because Amazon owns that and Amazon doesn't like him. He was on a commercial for a 49ers game.
Oh, okay.
49ers and I think the Broncos were playing. And
yeah, not long ago.
And he was like on national television in front of everybody. He also announced a 49ers draft pick this last year.
Oh yeah. Okay, yes.
But like he's a character. He also he's got like that whole thing persona online. He's verified on Twitter as Dr. Disrespect, but then he also has an unverified personal Twitter account where you can see the only thing that's real about him is the mustache. And
that's great.
And so like, you know, on there he'll post more about his family, but never like say like names or anything like that, even though it's not the hardest thing in the world to find.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, that's part of the reason why I go by Finn a lot of places, or Skeedap, depending, because like it's really not hard to find out that my name is Kaylin. Everybody acts like it's some kind of gotcha. It's like, no, I just like Finn because then I don't have people thinking that they know me when they don't.
Yeah.
But like Dr. Disrespect doesn't put anything about his family otherwise. Or like huge streamer, probably like one of the biggest in the world right now, Ludwig Ogren. He is in a relationship with another streamer by the name of Cutie Cinderella. You'd like her a lot, actually. She bakes. She does baking streams every Thursday.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
And Ludwig signed a multi-year, multi-million-dollar deal with YouTube to stream exclusively on there, which is part of the reason why I'm on YouTube right now. Because I really like the content that he does. I mean, he does all sorts of things, and he's very clear that like he does this because of the money. But he's been in prior relationships while also streaming, and that was never publicized because that person wasn't, you know, a public figure like his current girlfriend is.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, it makes sense to not put their name out there when you're somebody like an Amaranth or a Ludwig or a Pokimane. Because I mean, Pokimane's a big one where people think that she has a boyfriend. They thought that for years. But like she makes a lot of money, not and she doesn't talk about her relationship. She doesn't have to.
No, and so part of my divorce was that I did not want to. I didn't want my married name anymore, but I also didn't want to go back to my maiden name.
You get to build your
Yes,
own.
yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I will have two last names. And one I will use publicly, and one will be privately. So like people who actually know me will know one last name, but publicly on social media, everything else, I'm Amy Addison. And like I have reasons that I chose that name, and I have reasons that I chose my private name too, but I want to be able to have a name out there, um, so I can tell my story, so I can help other people whenever possible, instead of just saying Amy, because everybody, half the people my age have the name Amy, and the other half are Jennifer's. So, I mean, you can't just say Amy,
Right.
because it's all of us.
See that
So
my name's
I
too
have,
unique.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're younger than me though, so I feel like parents, people like me who had all of the boring names, like my parents chose the most boring first name and the most boring middle name and put them together. So I feel like we all were like, I'm going to name my kid, pick something, you know? But yeah.
My mom and dad have pretty boring names. My dad is just Wesley, pretty
Uh-huh.
typical, pretty typical name. And then my mom has my mom's is just so funny because her first name is no, it's hilarious. It really is. Her first name is Sue,
Okay.
not Susan,
Uh-huh.
and
Just Sue.
her middle name is Anne.
Okay.
And so like it's funny because people because people will be like, like yeah, can I speak to Suzanne? Who? Suzanne? And I'll I'll turn to my mom and I'll be like,
Nah.
do you have an Anne? What's going on with that? Uh,
Yeah.
it's
That's
so funny.
always, yeah.
And then I knew
But
a
then you
guy.
can say, telemarketers call and you can say, there's no one here by that name.
That's what I do.
I do that all the time.
I
Yeah.
I love I had a PE teacher whose name was well, his brother's name was Robert. He goes by Bob.
Hmm.
His name is Billy, not
Oh my
William,
goodness.
not Bill. His legal first name is
Is
Billy.
Billy.
Hmm.
Okay. I mean, okay.
Name
Why
like
not?
it
Yeah.
is so funny. And then not having your name out there publicly can be such a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that you were as confused as the rest of the world when Dream's face reveal happened. Um,
I don't know what that was.
Maybe you weren't on Twitter that day. That was a Sunday, so it's possible that
Probably.
you were avoiding it.
Oh, yeah.
That was
I'm a Packers
2 weeks.
fan.
I think that was 2 weeks ago. So I don't know if you were avoiding Twitter that day.
Oh, um, probably after the last 3 weeks being a Hawkeye fan,
You ready to give up on
oh,
football?
no, I'm ready to give up on Hawkeye Twitter. So
Usually, I just give up on sports for the season.
I love sports. I'm a nicer person when I have them because I like to yell a lot, and I get it out there. I should probably apologize to some refs, not all of them, but some of them I probably should.
I'm sure they would appreciate that.
Again, not all of them. The ones who called that team that team for the Iowa Michigan game, no, F them, fuck them, no, they're terrible. I stand by everything I said about them.
It's okay. I watch Big 12 football for fun. I know refs can be.
Yeah.
Refs have been really, really terrible this season, especially.
They have been and I watched a couple of Iowa State games, and I was like, holy shit, these people are what? How do they have jobs?
Yeah, they get paid to do that. They get paid.
Oh my word.
Missed targeting calls.
If I was that bad at my job, I wouldn't have one anymore. But anyway. It's like our politicians. If I was as bad as they are at their jobs,
yeah. Say, I gave up on Iowa Twitter when I was attacked for having pronouns in my bio. Yeah, that was bad. And then I had a former friend say that I was stalking him. He just piggybacked onto that and was like, "Oh, his actual name's Kalen, by the way. Yeah, he stalks me." I don't stalk him. I purposely avoid him.
Wow.
I purposely avoid him. So I was off Twitter for a few days. Decided to come back because he deleted some of the slanderous things that he said about me. And my mental health vastly improved. And then quickly deteriorated again because of volleyball last night. So that was.
Oh, well.
Wisconsin won the game. I'm never going to be that kind of person that's all like, oh, the better team didn't win today. No, the better team absolutely won that game. The problem is Nebraska just shat the bed. They pissed it down their leg the whole game. It was abysmal. We lost that game hard. Wisconsin won the game. Wisconsin won the game that they needed to. I just wish that the game would have been harder.
Yeah.
If we lose like that in 5 sets, okay. But but credit to Wisconsin. They have
a good team.
It's the first time they've beaten the number 1 since 1997, and their head coach back then.
Oh wow.
Their head coach back then is the head coach of Nebraska now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, John Cook got his start at Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't really follow volleyball.
I love volleyball so much.
Because Iowa, we don't. I mean.
Yeah.
I've been to some games.
I've also been to some Iowa volleyball games.
I like to take my nieces to women's sports. I really like to do that because I think it's important that they see women out there doing what they want to do and being badass queens.
I definitely support I definitely support women's sports. I just don't watch them most of the time because a lot of the times I just get bored because it's not what I'm, like the WNBA versus the NBA. I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan. Once Las Vegas got any kind of basketball team, I was like, dude, yep, let's ride. And then they just so happened to win this year, and now I look stupid because everybody's all like, oh, you're just a bandwagon. No, I'm not.
No.
But
Oh,
I don't watch because to me it's not, the super fast pace, every 5 seconds there's kind of a shot going up
mm-hmm.
ordeal. You don't get because like I'm a Knicks fan, so I get to watch the spectacular Obi Toppin show,
Uh,
and but like
that's what I got for you.
through the legs dunks during games, come
I
on.
just, I just can't. As
He,
an as an Iowa fan, I just can't. I
I,
can't.
I will tell you, I'm not happy that we drafted him. I wish that we would have drafted Tyrese Halliburton instead. We would have avoided a lot of problems that we've had at the point guard position. But
Yeah, I don't watch NBA really.
that's fair.
Um, College basketball, I fucking love college basketball.
So much fun
Um,
because they have to
and
care.
except, yeah, yeah. Well, except for now, I watch the Sacramento games because they took Keegan,
I
and
I think
so
I think that he is going to have a very illustrious career, just not in Sacramento. They're going to underutilize him, and they're going to end up trading him away for something that they really don't need, just like they did with Tyrese Halliburton.
yeah, I will. Iowa doesn't have a lot of players in the NBA, and so like
Just one right now.
that's why that. I I was a I still call myself a Bulls fan
Mm.
um, because that's the kind of fan I am. Um, I picked the Bulls 30 years ago. So damn it, I'm still a Bulls fan.
All right.
Um,
I got you. I got you.
that's how that goes. I don't care if they're terrible. I don't care if they're good. I don't really watch the games, but if you ask me what my NBA team is, I'm going to say the Bulls.
I'm a Knicks
Um,
fan. You don't have to explain terrible to me.
get it. I will always cheer for my Hawkeyes wherever they're at. I will always cheer for them.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
it it pains me. It absolutely pains me to see Tristan Wirfs stopping people from plowing over Tom Brady, but you hate him.
But he's a Hawkeye.
Uh, yeah, he's a Hawkeye, so I'm like, I love Tristan. I love Tristan.
You can want the player to
Um,
do well, but the team to do horribly.
yeah, yes. I hope that Tom Brady gets laid flat out in the ground from the left side, not the right. Because, yeah. And same when James Daniels was playing for the Bears. I am a Packers fan. And so it's in my contract to hate the Bears, obviously.
Been a rough year for
And
you.
yeah, it has. It's been really bad. uh, so, uh, but when James Daniels was playing for the Bears, I was like, I hope James Daniels does well and the Packers do well, and that is all. That's it. Just no.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So yeah,
But
but anyway, I don't want I love women's sports and I take my nieces with me to them. I have Iowa gymnastics season tickets. I've had those for a few years. Uh, and my niece does competition gymnastics. So it's like,
ah,
hey, do
okay.
you want this? And she's like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And it turns out when I buy season tickets, she can usually go to like two because she has competition the same weekend. But at least she gets to go. And women's basketball, we have women's basketball season tickets.
Okay.
Last year was the first year, and we have them again this year. And so last year I was walking into the arena, and I was like, I'm not a big basketball person. Like, I watch the men's games when they're on and whatever. And the women's basketball team last year was so much fun to watch.
They were
So
good.
much fun to watch.
They were good.
So I went to the first two rounds of the NCAA championship that were in Iowa City. Cried after the second one, whatever. But got to see them win the title, the Big Ten title. I was there for that, and that was amazing. But being able to take my nieces and show them that kind of thing is super important to me, because the more we encourage them and the more we encourage women be who they are and be true to themselves, less end up in situations like mine or like Amaranth or anybody else in that situation. So
that's the thing about it, is that people just don't realize, hey, if we stop treating marginalized groups like they're, supposed to be where they're at in terms of society, then we're gonna be in a much better place. Like that one random Iowa Twitter account tweeted out that joke. That's basically like a modern "I hate my wife" joke. Like,
yeah,
I saw that and I was like, dude, this is Rodney Dangerfield but worse. Because and then they were all like, oh, this is so chronically online. Huh? Saying that something's not funny because it's dumb. And then like I mean, I got a lot of harassment from a lot of 30-plus-year-old white men.
Yeah.
I also got called a bitch for living in Nebraska, which it's like your words can't hurt me. I get to eat runza when I want to.
Oh well, yeah.
But like people just don't realize that like we treat women way differently than we think we do.
Yeah.
It's not
absolutely.
Okay. It's not okay. And I know that I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes in the past. I'm going to continue to make mistakes. Everybody is that way. I've made jokes that, looking back on it, are not okay. I will continue to do so. But I'm going to try and be better always.
Yeah.
Because like the world changes, but you have to change with it.
Once you know better, you do better. Maya Angelou. And so that's like, I think about that. Like, when I think about the way that I treated or things I said about some groups of people, and I said those things and did those things, and I thought I was right because of religion. And I say religion, not Christianity or anything like that, or spirituality, but there's a difference between religion and all of the others, and to me. So religion is just a way for people to be assholes.
Yeah.
In essence, there's a difference between that and relationship. So I grew up in religion, and the things that I said about specifically the LGBT community, and that's kind of the biggest one that I think of. Or I call myself a former predator. too. But now I know better. So I do better. I I support my friends who have to make really tough decisions, and I don't ever want any of my friends or family to feel like they ever have to come out to me, because I don't think that's some. It's I don't. I care who you love.
Mm.
I absolutely care who you love, because I care how they treat you.
You,
I do not care what they look like or their gender or anything like that. So I'm not going to say I don't care who you love. Absolutely fucking do. But
you care about the person and not what
that's the extent of my caring about who somebody that I love loves.
yeah,
Um,
you care about who that person is, not what that person
yes, yes. So I have to plug my phone in real quick because it just told me 10%.
is. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Oh. Sorry.
You're all good. My goodness. Mute myself on there. And just kind of talk for a second. Yeah, for anybody that's tuning in, this is the second episode of Untitled Underqualified, in theory. But last week I was really very stupid, more stupid than I was prior, and
Magic.
ended up being muted for the first 30 minutes. So
All right.
we're premiering right here.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, right. Yeah, no,
okay.
Discord can be a little heavy.
I did not even think about it because I had a meeting before
Mm.
I hopped on here, and yeah,
Meeting before we got on at
Yeah.
9.
I know.
What?
I know. Yeah. That's
Man.
that. Yeah, that's how that goes.
But keeping on the topic of learning.
Yeah.
Like people feel like it has to be a binary decision where you're either one way or the other way. But like me personally, I would say I'm pro-choice. One, because I'm not a woman. I'm not going to be giving birth. Why do I get to make that decision? It's not on me. I'm not a doctor, you know. I really am not qualified to make that kind of a decision.
Yeah.
And plus, you can be pro-life in a pro-choice world, but you can't be pro-choice in a pro-life world.
No, you can't.
I'm, formerly I definitely was not a big proponent of like gay marriage and stuff like that, but it had nothing to do with them. That was just how I was raised in the church. And I still am a part of the church, very proud to be. I love the church that I go to. It's just down the street. It's insanely massive. It's also very old. And I really don't care who you marry. I don't care who you kiss. I don't care. I just want you to be happy, because when you're able to be yourself, you're happy. You want to be transgender? Do it. You want to be a dude, but you were born a not dude? Be a dude. That's you.
Yeah.
It's not my place to tell you who you can and can't be. If you want to use they them pronouns, okay, that's no skin off my back. Now we should comment with some of the pronouns, because like frog is not a pronoun. That is an amphibian. We got
yeah, it's a noun. Yeah.
I will gladly say we gotta chill it a little bit.
Yeah.
But like there's one creator on TikTok that actually just left TikTok for at least for a little bit, and it was definitely a pack watch moment. I was sitting there like, oh, we did it, boys, let's go. And um I don't know what they identify as, what their pronouns are, or anything like that, so I'll just be gender neutral on it. But they were genuinely a horrible, horrible creator to have on the platform because they were preaching pro LGBTQ rhetoric, which is perfectly good. The issue is what exactly in that rhetoric they were preaching. They would speak slow and loud, which studies have shown is very appealing to younger audiences from the age of about 7 to 13 is like really where that lies.
Mhm.
And they made a video that said, "Would you date a masked presenting bottom?" That's okay. If maybe don't, especially because this person is a school teacher and said that their students will regularly watch their videos. The
Oh,
whole thing was like, this is dangerous. This
yeah,
is
that's
just dangerous.
inappropriate.
And it's like, I want them to be happy. I want them to be who they are. But
Hmm.
you gotta know when you have a large online presence that some of the things that you preach can be dangerous. Saying, oh, I'm a mask presenting bottom when you know that your students are watching, or like saying being lactose intolerant is okay. Um, that's dangerous,
Yeah,
especially the lactose
yeah,
intolerant joke.
definitely is. Um, I I'm very careful um, about what I do put on social media. Some of my social media. Um,
I am not,
I,
if you haven't noticed.
I so I have nieces who follow me on TikTok, and so I
Oh, I
have
need to I
put.
need to follow you on there again. My account got deleted.
Oh man,
Yeah, I got
uh,
got booted, so I gotta find you again.
I'm s'more chick on everything, um, because hashtag branding. Um,
Gotta keep it
so
consistent.
I so my nieces, I have nieces who follow me on there, and I have put some of my story on TikTok.
Mm.
Um, I put a very detailed, not very detailed as you can get in a minute, um, video about a situation that my ex husband and I had, where he um, almost hit me with a car. And uh, so I made that video. Um, I had it set to private, and then I texted it to um, my niece's parents so they could see it. And then I let all of my nieces know that I was, their parents let them know that I was going to be posting it and that I was open for questions. If they had any questions about it or anything like that, they could text me or call me, we could have coffee because coffee a lot, and they know that. So um, I am cautious about what I put out there on some things, that, but um,
Yeah, for me, social
some,
media half the time is just stream of consciousness. I'm all like, oh man, this would be a really funny joke. I put it out there. I'm like, oh fuck, that was not a good thing to post. like, there are times
yeah,
where I'm like, ooh, but when I mess up, I do tend to try to take accountability. Um,
that's, and that's important.
when I
Yeah,
when I'm truly in the wrong, I will try to take accountability. There are some times where people are just being a little bit soft, where I'm like, okay, let's slow the roll.
yeah,
But like, because I don't think that I'm a very soft person. I just realize, hey, it's not really that cool to like make jokes disparaging gay people for just being gay.
Yeah. And I grew up, I'm 40, uh, so, I celebrate anniversaries of my 29th birthday now.
Hmm.
And so when I was growing up, when I was in elementary school and middle school and even high school, um, we would say if something was stupid, we would say it was gay. Well, that's gay. Um, and
That was something that was around, I mean,
yeah,
even when I was in school.
and I go back and I watch some of the movies and stuff that I used to watch back in the day, and I was like, and I Saved by the Bell, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
oh my word, how awful is that show? Like, I,
There,
I, I just, and and it's not just that one. It's a lot. It's a lot of shows. But I mean, AC Slater almost went to Iowa, so we have to like that.
there was a podcast that I watched a clip of. I'm not a big podcast person myself. Um,
Uh,
I say as I'm, I say as I'm just another white kid with a,
on your own podcast.
yeah. But like there's a few though, like actually like fully listen to. Like I listened to Macro Dosing with PFT and Arian Foster. Um, I listened to The Yard. It's one that that streamer Ludwig Ogren that I told you about does. That's his with his housemates. Um,
Uh-huh.
and really that's it. But like but I was watching I'll watch like clips of podcasts because clips are interesting, 15 minutes
Yeah.
of, interesting stuff. And there was one where it was the guy who plays Kumar in Harold and Kumar.
Hmm.
And it was Dr. Mike's podcast. I'm sure you've seen like his videos pop up on YouTube before. Um, and for reference, this guy's Indian, I think,
Hmm.
and gay. Like,
Yeah.
so he's got two hurdles to.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like, it's so funny because he was talking about how there's this other gay actor friend of his, and he's all like, "Dude, I hate that they keep casting straight people to play gay people," and he's just looking at him like, "Dude, I'm still trying to get over the brown thing. I wish that being gay was my problem."
Yeah.
and
Great. Yeah.
he goes, "We could never make Harold and Kumar go to White Castle today. There's you could never make White Castle again."
Oh. Uh-uh.
And Dr. Mike was like, "Don't you think that's a little sad?" Because Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is a masterpiece. I love it.
Uh-huh.
I understand like it's not necessarily okay today if they were to make that, so they couldn't.
Hmm.
And he was like, "No, I don't think that that's a bad thing at all. I love it. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
I get to figure out how to make people laugh in a way that works for the time."
Hmm.
Like, do you remember when Carson King had that
Yeah.
one reporter come after him for tweeting
Yeah.
slurs years ago?
Yep.
Um, years ago,
He
and he was
quoted he
Daniel Tosh,
quoted Tosh Point oh.
and back
And
then that was
yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Back then that was that was reasonable. It was offensive humor, and there's always going to be offensive humor. But
Yeah.
like, but what is okay to say in offensive humor will always change. No, it's not okay now, but back then you can't get on him for that kind of thing.
No, not at all. Uh,
And then we went and found that that reporter had tweeted the N-word quite a few times. Ha ha ha
hey,
ha.
that was super fun.
That reporter got verified off of that though, so that sucks.
Um,
They still only have like 400 followers.
oh, I have more than that.
Yeah, you need to get into
Uh,
journalism. Easy check mark.
yeah. Yeah, unless you're David Eichel.
I like David. Some of the stuff he puts out
Uh,
is good.
yeah. Um, yeah, I've met him a few times. He's fun to drink with. Uh, yeah. His mom is amazing. So I met her at the Iowa Ladies Academy. And I freaking adore Val. She's amazing. Uh, yeah, she's a great person.
I the world changing is just such a great thing to me because it's like,
It is.
and it gives people a chance to, because like I don't white knight, I don't pretend to be a social justice warrior. um like there was this one like TikTok beef that happened where like this songwriter wrote a song calling himself a bitch, and then somebody said that he was using a slur, and then they pointed out this feminist linguist's book that said that bitch is a slur now. And it's like, okay, that's the bad kind of feminism, where it's taking things that at one point or that are typically like pointed in the direction of women and saying
Uh-huh.
this is as bad things. Like saying bitch is not even close to saying the N word. Not even close.
No, no, not at all. Um,
No, I don't call women bitches
I
most of the time.
I do. Um,
Yeah.
like almost all of my group text messages are some sort of bitches. Um, wine and whiskey bitches, crazy cat bitches, of course bitches. Because
And that's
there are two kinds of people who don't mind being called bitches and whores: actual bitches and whores, and your closest. Those are the ones you can call.
yeah, because
Um,
I think there's a time and place. It's usually not my place to
yeah,
do that. Like if I see like
yeah,
if I get cut off by somebody, I'm gonna be like, what a bitch.
yeah,
That's gonna be one of those things because it's not me trying to insult her. It's more so just throwing out an expletive that because
uh-huh.
I'll call dudes bitches for that too. I don't
Yeah.
discriminate.
Me neither.
It just
Uh,
depends on my mood whether they're
do
a jackass or a bitch.
douche canoe, twat waffle.
Dick waffle
I,
or dick
those
hole.
are,
Dick hole's a big one for me
yeah,
right now.
yeah. Those are good ones.
The
Um,
one
I
word that I will not say towards women is the C word.
yeah, we were talking about this like earlier this week, and I don't have a problem with that word, like at all. I know that there are a lot of people who do. Um, yeah, I have zero problems with it, and I don't know if it's because um, I watch British television sometimes,
Hmm.
or what? Because it's just yeah. Um, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I also don't have a problem with the word moist either, so I don't know what's wrong with me. Um,
I the
but I
only
hate
word
the
that I
word packet. I hate the word packet, so I don't know.
packet.
Uh, packet. I hate that word. It makes no sense.
Huh.
But anyway, uh, uh, I used to also use the R word all the time. Well, that's, you know, um, I can't even say it now. And one of my absolute favorite Salt and Pepper songs has it in there, and I did not even realize it. Um, and people still like I know people my age, typically my age or older, who will say that, and I have no problems asking them not to, um,
I also ask
because
people not to.
I do, and just because it's not right, but also um, because I do take care of a little boy who would be called that, and he's amazing. Um, he's the strongest kid I've ever met, and it has such this negative connotation with it. Um, so I, yeah, it's
I
Again,
I don't I
I
have
know better, so
mhm.
I do better
Yeah, exactly.
now. Yeah.
I used to use the word never to describe people because
Hmm.
just to describe like things that are going on, kind of like how you would call something gay if you didn't if it was
Yeah.
you thought it was dumb. I would use it in that same context,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I I never liked using it to describe people, and I've stopped using it to describe things in general just because I went to elementary school at the one school in my entire hometown where that's where those kids went, the ones that would
Hmm.
have that insult thrown at them. And we always called them SPED kids just because the program literally is SPED.
Special ed.
It's
Yeah.
it's an acronym for something
Okay.
um, there, which obviously they made it SPED for a reason because
Hmm.
and that people keep saying that that's not okay either, which I understand because it could also be used disparagingly. I'm still going to use
Hmm.
it just because I also worked in the SPED department when I worked at that school district.
Uh-huh.
And specifically, I worked in the behavioral unit that is encompassed inside of the SPED umbrella. But
Hmm.
so I'm still going to continue to use it. But if somebody asks me to stop, I'm not gonna like push them and be like, "Well, it means special education," because that's just being stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. If,
not saying something isn't going to hurt you.
yeah. Yep.
That's what
Uh,
people don't get.
it's not a big deal, like at all. Um, yeah. My, I don't have preferred pronouns. You call me whatever you want to. Um, but I know some people do, and I will absolutely respect um, whatever they would like to be called.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not.
you cannot call me the R word because I will punch you in the face just because that's okay.
Mhm.
Um, but just about anything else, I don't care, you know?
It's
And I don't understand why people get so bent out of shape about that. And um,
the pronouns
there's,
confuse me. Why people get so like I have my pronouns in my bio just because those are obviously one my preferred pronouns. Um, because I do identify as a male.
mhm,
but
yeah,
then but then it it's done to kind of normalize because
yeah,
people will like there's a I don't know if they're former if they're current I don't know what he's doing right now former Fortnite pro um was signed to FaZe Clan in at the age of 13 born deaf um like that's incredible.
hmm,
And at the time they were the first female member of FaZe Clan. It was huge. This 13-year-old, like I literally bought the sweatshirt that dropped that they did um, for her, and I gave it away, unfortunately, to a kid at the school that I worked at. Um, I was all like, hey, if you do this, if you're good enough to reach this level in our like point system, I will give you this. He was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, how much was it? And I'm like, dude, this was like $95. Okay. I'm giving you a big part of me. It was purple too. And I don't know if you know much about me. I love the color purple because there's so few purple things in the world.
yeah,
It's and so like every time I see something purple, I'm like, yep, that's me, that's mine. Yep, I'm getting it. and
yeah, you
and
have to, yeah.
and that was 3 years ago, and now they are transitioning from female to male,
Hmm.
and so they go by he him. But that's people are going to misgender on purpose, and so
Yeah,
normalizing showing what your preferred pronouns are is a very important thing to me. And I will
yeah,
always stand up for the rights of, people like that.
Yeah, this week, um, I at my job that I hate. Um, I throw that in every time. At my job that I hate. Uh, there is someone that I work with on another team who I have never met in person. They're in a different location. Um, and the way this person introduces themselves when they answer the phone anytime I call, um, just that alone um, has me question things.
In a good way
Like
or a bad way?
what pronouns I should use. Um,
Aha.
um, so just because of the way the person says their name, so um, they go by the last name rather than the first name, and so that makes me wonder if there's a preference there,
Mhm.
and so I am very cautious about how I introduce one, like when I'm transferring someone uh, to that person. I'm very cautious about how I do that. I try not to use pronouns or anything like that. Um, and I have a very specific way that I have said things with that person. And I was thinking this week, I was like, why am I only like that with that one person? Why? That didn't make sense to me, like in my head. Because what if there's somebody else who prefers something, prefers a different pronoun? Um, so I contacted my uh, my vice president or my assistant, my AVP,
Mm.
and asked him because I know he is supportive of the LGBT community. Um, and so I asked him, I said, is there some way that for those of us who want to um, can put our pronouns after our names? So it's something that just anybody who in the company who wants to do it, and it's always there.
Mm.
So like if we're in Teams or if we're sending an email or whatever, it's there because I don't want somebody to have to ask me to call them something different, because again, it's one of those things that doesn't matter to me. If that's what you want me to call you, great. That's what I'm gonna call you. Uh, it's like to me, it's like nicknames. Um, my cousin, all growing up, he was Steve, and then he asked when he professionally he asked to be called Steven. Okay, cool. That's what I'm gonna call you. Or another friend who, for as long as I knew him, was Jimmy, and then he asked to be called James. Okay, and to me that's the same thing. That's their name. That's what they prefer to be called. That's what I'm gonna call them. It's just a matter of respect. Um,
Anytime somebody like gets on me for the whole pronouns in the bio thing, or
mhm.
they're all like, I don't have pronouns. Oh, congratulations. Hey, coming out as non-binary is such a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
I tell you what, man, I'm here to support you. And like they're always all like, oh God, you're so insufferable. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Cool.
I am insufferable. And I'm going to continue to be insufferable because if you want to be happy, they can be happy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like there's two inalienable rights in the United States that can never be taken away by the government, no matter what. And those two rights are the right to life and the right to the pursuit of happiness. Oh, sorry, three: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Hmm.
And like that means that we can be free, we can live, and we can try to be happy. But here's the thing: your right to the pursuit of happiness ends when it's infringing on mine. You can put your fist
Yeah.
wherever you want, right up until it gets to my nose.
And then you can't. Um, I was watching, um, I got totally addicted to the Daryl Brooks trial.
God, he's so entertaining.
Good. It's like an unbelievable train wreck.
Dude, sovereign citizens are literally my favorite people in the world because they're so stupid. They're so dumb.
Yes. And so I was like watching hours and hours of reaction videos, and oh my goodness. But anyway, it was the jury nullification thing.
Oh my God.
And he kept wanting to talk about the jury nullification. And I was like, okay, so yes, jury nullification is a thing. So yes, a jury can say not guilty if they think the law is wrong. You killed 6 people with your damn car.
No, Daryl Brooks did. He is not Daryl Brooks. He is a person representing Daryl Brooks.
In all capitals. Oh my goodness.
Like, I feel like people don't understand the law does that because, like, let's say that you have John McTavish. There's 2 capital letters in that last name alone. If somebody misspells, if that is miswritten, they just capitalize just the M on a legal document, then suddenly John McTavish is literally free to go. He could have killed 17 people. It's like that's why they do that, because it's less mistakes can be made.
Yeah, so I was watching the closing argument, the state's closing argument. Anyway,
I listened to his. I didn't get to hear the state's.
Oh, so one of the arguments that he made was that this is spelled in all capitals, and he doesn't spell his in all capitals. And
corporations do that.
So yeah, so the state in the closing argument had a picture of his driver's license that was on him when he was arrested, that had his name spelled in all capital letters.
Is mine?
Yes.
Is mine in all caps? It sure is. Everything on there.
And passport too. Yep, it all is.
Yeah. I've never really looked at my passport too much, but yeah, it would be.
Yeah, when you're filling out the application for your passport, you have to write it in all capital letters.
Because, like, you're going in. I'm sure that I probably messed that up at least once. Considering I got my passport at 16, so
yeah,
not the smartest age group.
Hey, rude. I just got mine again, and I definitely messed that form up twice.
No, you're fine. I'm saying I was stupid.
It's not just smart people.
I love sovereign citizens genuinely because they're so hilarious. They're so dumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than listening to them. Like I like to watch Court Cam. Never really liked Live PD when that was on, but like I love Court Cam because sovereign citizens show up on there. And there was the one that was told not to record. Or no. He was told to take his hat off at the courtroom. And he was like, "Well, I'll let the judge tell me that." And the bailiff goes, "No, like it's the law. You can't just wait for the judge to tell you to take your hat off. I'm telling you now, or I will detain you. You don't have that right." no, I do. I'm the
Yeah,
fucking bailiff,
actually, I do.
dude. And or the guy that was trying to record walking into the courtroom, and the security was like, "Sorry, man, got to leave your phone out here. Court order. This is a case where there's no phones allowed." And the guy was like, "No, I'm bringing my phone in." Well, are you with the press? Like, are you a journalist so you can bring a camera in? No, you don't make the rules. I can bring my phone in. No, I do make the rules.
Actually, yeah.
Rule of thumb that I follow: if somebody has a stun gun, I'm not arguing with them, because I can argue with them, and then I can argue with the concrete.
Yeah, you're breaking your nose. That's how that goes. That's
And
100%.
I love how before he gave his closing statement, he was told specifically, do not tell the jury about mistrial because of this Reddit post. Do not, because the jury has not had access to electronics this entire time. Which would suck ass, because like, imagine you're sitting in your hotel room and you can't like play.
Nothing.
You can't do anything. At least give me my.
You can.
At least give me Mario on my Switch, please.
Yeah.
Like,
You can color in this coloring book. You can read a magazine.
like,
Oh no, wait, you can't, because
it might
they're
talk
all
about it,
digital now.
or it might talk about the trial. And so
Yeah.
they monitor everything. And
Uh-huh.
and the judge was like, "We are investigating this, okay? Do not tell the jury that they should mistrial because of this Reddit post." And he was like, "Well, I'm going to inform them." And the judge goes, "Don't." And then the state's all like, "Your Honor, he's going to do it, so we're going to
Yes.
also say something that kind of hopefully counteracts that." Because I don't think that he realizes that can taint the jury, and then suddenly it's a mistrial that's not in his favor.
No. And I mean, so he was found guilty on all counts. Yeah. So
God.
obviously, but like, I hadn't heard that the trial had started, and I was
Nobody
watching.
had.
I know, yeah. And I was watching a TikTok, and
I love that app.
yeah.
It's so much better than Twitter.
Oh, I love TikTok. So there's a attorney I follow on there, and he's in Kansas City, and he's fucking hilarious. And so somebody asked him if he had been following the Daryl Brooks trial, and he was like, "You think I spend all day doing lawyer stuff and I go home and I catch up on these trials? Absolutely, I did." So, and I was like, "Oh, I hadn't heard this." And so then, I'm searching for a hashtag Daryl Brooks trial, and I end up following 18 new people and watching it for hours. Because I have insomnia, and so because took my Adderall too late, and now I'm awake, so I have to watch it all. Yeah. So I watched pretty much the entire trial via TikTok.
It was, God, I mean, I would like be moving stuff at work, and I'm just listening to this 45-minute like questioning, and like, do you recognize the person in this picture? Yeah, that's you. No, this is Daryl Brooks. Who is you?
Yeah, you.
And he calls his ex-girlfriend, and he's like trying to like be coy and play around it. And the state's like, Your Honor, he's calling his ex-girlfriend tomorrow. This isn't actually a secret, because you can hide no secrets from the court.
Yeah. The judge in that trial,
an angel, a saint,
deserves she deserves to retire now. Oh my goodness. Like,
she deserves to be like fucking
Medal of Honor.
She
Good
was so
God. It was
patient.
so, yeah.
Like
She
I
gave
don't
him
get it.
so many chances. And I read somewhere that she had to do that because otherwise he would have even more grounds for appeal and he would waste everybody's time again. Um,
I don't think he can appeal this decision either.
I don't, I think there's things that he can't appeal. I I think he can appeal some stuff because the judge mentioned a couple of times. You can mention that in your appeal. Um, he cannot, he cannot appeal based on inadequate counsel.
Yeah, because he represented himself.
Yes.
Any man who
And that
represents
had to
himself
be,
has a fool for a client.
yeah, yes, yeah. Um, my ex-husband represented himself in our divorce.
Why? Okay,
I don't know.
that's something that's just idiotic because like
I I
th-
just wanted it over, so I gave him whatever.
there
I
is
gave him
so
a lot of
much
stuff, but
there is so much
yeah.
legalese that like you can use to
I
because
don't.
I just watched Marriage Story today. Um, not that good of a movie to be honest. Just
Okay.
because like the most interesting part about it to me is that it is based off of the director's time and like it's based off of the director's actual divorce and instead of
Uh huh.
theater substitute making movies, he was writing a movie at that time. Do you know what that movie was?
What? No.
Madagascar 3.
Oh God, bless America.
He was writing Madagascar 3. So when he was screaming about how his big directorial thing was like his one big chance,
Uh huh.
he was writing the words da 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 da, da circus da 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 da, da afro circus afro polka dot polka dot afro.
That's amazing.
Just mind boggling. But also the ending really killed like all opinions I have of the movie, just because like it was
Okay.
so anticlimactic. I was like,
Oh.
man, give me something, you know?
Mhm.
Because it felt like the story never resolved. And I don't know if the divorce is has gone through completely or if it had it back in 2019 when that was made. But it's one of those things where it's like to me, the movie was like okay. There were some scenes that were absolutely fantastic, I thought. Um, Ray Liotta was I love Ray Liotta. He
Yeah.
Ray Liotta starred in my favorite movie ever, Goodfellas.
Oh yeah.
A-
Yep.
And it's funny because the guy that he portrays in Goodfellas um, ended up being arrested in Nebraska. I think I can't remember if it was North Platte or Plattsmouth. Pretty easy to get confused with those two.
Uh huh.
He got caught with like a massive ass bag of coke down at the front of his pants while working as a cook in a restaurant. So that was
Cook in a restaurant. Okay.
yeah. They busted him with just a bunch of coke in his pants, and it's like okay, I understand, you know, but like
I mean, I've worked in restaurants, so that tracks. But
it's like why that much? Why did you need that much?
yeah,
What are you?
yeah.
What are your shifts? Dude's like, all right, honey, I gotta go to work. I gotta go pull another 3-day shift over at the boneyard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's awesome.
but I thought that the lawyers were absolutely fantastic. Any scene with any of the lawyers, all three of
Uh
them,
huh.
was fantastic. I loved Bert. He was funny. He was like, my advice: if I were representing you, you are representing me. Right. And he like, and Bert kept being all like, Well, we need to make sure that the court. Why are we going to court? No, no, no. We're not going to go to court. We need to make sure that the court, dude. I was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
I was.
The first the first like law movie that I ever watched made me want to be a lawyer.
Was it Legally
And
Blonde?
no, because I'm way older than that. Way older than that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It was My Cousin Vinny.
I love My Cousin Vinny.
Yes, yeah. That was
Oh.
the movie where it was like, and when I saw it, I was like, I want to be a lawyer. And up until like my sophomore year of high school, I was an attorney. And then, I found out that's a lot of school. I didn't want to do that.
It's so much. In California, you can become a lawyer without schooling, but you do still have to obviously know your stuff. They have this thing called the baby bar where
Uh-huh.
where if you pass it, you could become an apprentice to a lawyer. Kim Kardashian's trying to do that right now. Apparently she came pretty close to passing it, but she didn't quite.
Oh.
She didn't quite. Like I think that because she's talked about it for years, wanting to be an attorney like her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely believe that this isn't something where she's just all like, oh, I want to do this for XY, for like publicity or for money. I think she has the money, so she's all like, I want to be a lawyer, and I respect it. I respect it a lot.
If that's what you want to do, that's
And she's trying. She said she's gonna try again. So
good for her.
um
Yeah, I now I'm just on law Twitter. I
Bad
and
legal
I
takes
follow.
is so funny.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody, there's no pronouns in the Constitution. We.
The first word,
And then like
literally.
and then
Yeah.
like and then you'll see people being all like, the Supreme Court ruling that Roe v. Wade wasn't constitutional is unconstitutional. Well, no, the Supreme Court ruling that it's unconstitutional is constitutional.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion on that is that like I agree that Roe v. Wade was not actually a good thing. The entire trial was like fraught with kind of bad, like not great practices and whatnot. But it's what that set off. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm of the opinion they really should have been all like, hey, guys, let's find a way to do this without setting off all of these trigger laws.
Yeah.
Because like I'm pro-choice because like I said again, I'm a man. I shouldn't have a proper opinion on that. And also like there are a lot of reasons why women might need an abortion.
And so the thing about Roe v. Wade is that it wasn't ever, so many people think it was abortion, and that was part of it. But more than that, it was bodily autonomy, and a decision privacy. It's about medical privacy, and that. So everybody who says that it's just about abortion is insane, because now it's also about transgender, and that I live in Iowa, and our governor is just
she's a jack.
Horrible.
She's
horrible person. She's so full of hate, and
I mean, hey, I have a human-sized thumb for a governor. So
Yeah,
You're a Cubs fan. You don't like my governor either.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so, well, our governor has passed this. Um, she is going to keep women's sports safe. Um, bullshit. And so that, I mean, Roe v. Wade is part of that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, and I, I, um, I have wanted a hysterectomy for years. I have never felt that desire that a lot of people have to have a biological child.
Mhm.
My ex-husband refused to adopt. Um, and so we did go through a lot of infertility treatments and stuff. In hindsight, it's a good thing none of that worked. But, you know, uh, so I have been asking for years for a hysterectomy, and I can't get one because that's not my choice. I don't get that. And
It should be because it's your
it
body.
should. Yeah.
If I want a
Um,
vasectomy, I can go get a vasectomy.
yeah.
It shouldn't be something that's taken from me. The opportunity to
Yeah.
have choice.
Yep. Um,
'Cause,
yeah. So Roe v. Wade affected that too. Like,
yep.
I have to go through all of these hoops and everything. And hysterectomies are a little, not a, not, they're a lot more final than just a tubal ligation, but I can't even get one of those done. Um, whereas you can walk into a urologist or you call a urologist and get a vasectomy then 2 weeks later,
Well, I could give myself one now. I've got kitchen shears.
Ow. But do you have frozen peas? Because that's the important.
No, but I have frozen
Um,
broccoli.
okay.
Close
My,
enough.
yeah. It doesn't mold as well.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Bodily autonomy shouldn't be something that we have to vote on. You know,
No.
America's
No.
fantastic. America's fantastic in that we're a democratic republic.
Yeah.
We have the best parts of both things. And I mean, God, you look at Kansas. Kansas got so lucky that people actually paid attention to what they were voting on. There was
Yes.
that bill that was brought up and sent to the people to bring up
Mm-hmm.
their constitution, like the Kansas Constitution's
Uh-huh.
protection of abortion. And people were actually like, wait, hold on, wait. This isn't what you say it is, because they outright lied.
Yeah. And that's what they do. I mean, hell, the Supreme Court justices did it when they were going through their confirmation hearing. Uh, Roe v. Wade is established law, and then let's turn it over.
Yeah. It, it,
Perjury is a crime. Uh, but yeah, I props to Kansas. I know.
but then
Yeah.
they hopped on that thing about student debt relief. That
I don't. I don't even know.
people act like their taxes are gonna skyrocket. Your taxes aren't changing because of that,
No.
and you don't get to choose where your taxes go anyway.
No.
Like,
I paid off the first time I went to college.
mm,
I didn't graduate. um,
same,
I didn't graduate the second time either. But anyway,
same.
I I paid off a student loan. I've done that.
Mhm.
I got rid of 10 grand in debt, and I am not mad that I paid $10,000 and now some people are going to get that for free. Free. I'm not mad about that. Why? What? how selfish is that? I want you to struggle.
Because I did too.
I did.
Yeah.
No, that's that makes zero sense to me whatsoever. I don't get it.
And while I don't agree with it, if people are consistent in what they believe, then I respect your opinion a lot more than like, because like the PPP relief, if people are consistent in um being all like they shouldn't have done that, um
Mhm.
they shouldn't be doing the student loan thing, they shouldn't be helping out farmers. As long as you're consistent, I respect. I have respect for your opinion. Now, if you're going to just be mad that the student loans are being, a small portion of it is getting canceled, that I mean, that's stupid.
Well,
It's because
I
they're not
mean,
getting help.
there's so many problems with that. Like, um, I got into a discussion on Twitter the other day about um, why we don't about not talking about how much money we make or how much debt we're in or anything like that. And how we need to normalize discussing that. And especially if and the point was women need to talk about that more. And I agree. But I think everybody needs to talk about it more because I, I feel like that's why we're economically where we are now because people don't talk about what is a livable wage. Cool, you have that brand new car and that brand new house. How much debt do you have? Like, so you're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, and then you end up in all of this credit card debt and all of this debt about everything. Um, I don't have the nicest car.
Mhm.
My house needs a whole lot of work,
Garage
but
looks great though.
thank you. It's getting there. All the electricity out of it, so it doesn't have electricity on it right now. But so, but we don't talk about how much money you're earning and how much you owe. Uh, and I think that's a problem because that's why I think that it has led to a lot of the inflation because companies don't understand, corporations don't understand what their people are trying to live on.
Oh, I think they
Um,
do. I
I
think the
think,
people don't understand that that's not okay.
yeah. Um,
I'm of
so
the exact opposite opinion.
I, I think I think people get so far high in a company that they lose track of what it costs to live. Um, and they can look at studies and whatever, but that's not always accurate. Um, so like I was talking to a coworker and I make more than her and we were discussing it and I don't know. I'm underpaid, but I don't know how she lives on. I mean, they have two incomes, so that helps. But for what we do and the shit that we take, um, I shouldn't have to live. I mean, we have full time jobs.
Mhm.
I don't live on food stamps, but some people in my department do, and I don't. And it bothers me to go to all employee meetings and they say, we have the best. this is the best quarter we've had in a long time. And I'm like, then why are my coworkers putting their kids on Hawkeye? Why are they getting Title 19? Why do they qualify for food stamps? Like, I cannot comprehend. If this is the best quarter that we've had, why are these people who are getting yelled at all day long by everybody? Do you not care, or do you not realize that you don't pay them enough to live on? And the company that I work for is small enough that I don't believe that they know. I don't believe that they realize, because I do know, which is a reason one of the main reasons I don't put out there where I work at all, because I do know not a lot, but I know some of the executives, and I'm on a first name basis with them, and I see them on an airplane, and I talk to them and stuff. I know. I'm just gonna not name drop. Yeah, but so I know them as people, and they would not wish that on anybody. I just think they don't have a clue. They just don't know. Because we don't talk about how much is your car payment so you can get to the office. Yeah. How much is your internet so you can work from home? And it's just, they live their life and we live our life, and they're completely opposites. And I think we need to talk about that kind of stuff more.
Yeah. Like, I work for a billion-dollar company, huge company. And I know there are people in the company that are making upwards of $300,000 a year. I make $1,800 a month. My rent is $1,100. I'm not going to be able to pay rent this month by a considerable amount, and they don't realize that. I also can't go anywhere else. My credit score isn't good enough to get approved for an apartment on my own. So I am fucked. And it's one of those things where it's like, this company knows exactly what they're paying. They think that this is fair, but like, they don't realize that, like, what they don't realize is they're only in cities. Cities are hard to live in. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And so they, it's one of those things that's very depressing to think about. How
it is.
The dichotomy of it. Like, this company knows exactly what they're doing. They also aren't planning on people, not having two streams of income.
Yeah. And so many companies anymore do just, you have to, everybody has two incomes. No, I did that. No, I didn't have the two incomes. I had two people and one income, and I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live by myself. Never getting married again. Nope. But it shouldn't be. You shouldn't need two incomes to eat, or buy beer. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
I need to be able to afford whiskey. If I'm going to work for the company that I work for, you have to pay me enough so I can drink enough to work here. And that's what's going to get me fired, because I said that to my boss. I won a $50 Amazon gift card, and I looked at her and I said, I cannot use this to buy the Jack Daniels that I need to work here. Whatever. Um,
Yeah, it's
so I think that has contributed to the student loan crisis that we're in, because you get all of this debt, and then companies think that they're paying you fair, and or they don't give a shit that they aren't. But they're not paying you fair. None of it is fair. And there are people who have these giant student loans because the company who's going to pay them $15 an hour told them that they had to have a degree to get that $15 an hour. And
$50 an hour isn't close to livable, but they think it is.
no, yeah.
If you're working 80 hours per pay period, it seems close, but you shouldn't have
If
to be stuck in something like that.
yeah, and I I I don't, especially if you're driving to work or if you're paying for daycare or
Yeah,
whatever.
all of
Like,
that stuff's incredibly expensive.
it is. That's ridiculous. I went to and now I can't even remember the name of it. Um, I went to an open house thing, and there is a nonprofit in Iowa that is working with the governor. So Reynolds has done two things right. One, continuing to let us have takeout cocktails from restaurants. That one's right. And then the other one is she's supporting this organization that is about giving women financial independence. And one of the big things that keeps women from having that financial independence is childcare, because so often women should be at home taking care of the kids or whatnot. So that so the governor is working with that for providing grants for um, childcare and subsidizing that. So um, that makes it. I think that'll make a huge difference. But still, as far as economic literacy, we're just in such a horrible place
Yep.
nationally, and myself. You know, because I needed to know what a parallelogram was and not how to do my taxes. Stuff like that is important, I guess. I don't. Yeah, some things you learn the hard way.
I mean, I definitely am. Like, right now, my biggest stressor is definitely not knowing whether or not I'm going to be kicked out of my apartment, just because
Mm-hmm.
I will not be able to pay rent. But like,
Yeah.
I also make just barely too much to be able to get any kind of assistance anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When you make 27,000 a year before taxes, apparently that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Nobody told me.
Yeah. Us, us not. Yeah.
and and so I mean, like, I'm very grateful to be making that much at the advanced stage that I am of 23, because that's the most that I've ever made technically. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no food. I have bills upon bills upon bills, just like everybody.
Uh-huh.
And like, getting a little bit of student debt canceled for me is going to help so much.
Yeah.
But like,
And
it's never
if
going to be
we
enough because the world is stacked against me, all because of prior generations saying this is what we did. It was fine for us. Yeah, you could also work part-time at a pizza joint and pay your way through college back then, Dave.
Yeah, and it's not like that now
It's
at all.
I mean, 36 grand for out-of-state tuition at Iowa State plus room and board. 36 grand.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And college cost is going to go up now because these schools aren't going to be getting the money they feel that they're owed. Maybe don't pay Wendy Winterstein fucking $99 million a year she makes I think like $250,000 a year, which is ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
She does nothing. She does literally nothing. Fuck, we had a Nazi scare at Iowa State my freshman year. She made a statement that said we're looking into it and nothing happened.
What the hell?
And
yeah.
That's why I like when athletic departments are separate from the university, like they are at Iowa State and Iowa. They're not at Nebraska, because Nebraska is a totally different kind of deal than either of those schools, where all four schools are the University of Nebraska. And so like we don't have a president of the university. We have a president of the university system. Like you know how
so weird.
You know how people get on Nebraska for being a low academic school?
Uh-huh.
They're really not, because in Lincoln they've got a specific focus on things. Because all of the other smart stuff is somewhere else. Where like Lincoln's big focus is agriculture. Omaha's big focus is, I don't know, not having football, I think. Kearney's big focus is liberal arts. And then you've got the University of Nebraska Medical Center. It is the best place to go if you want to study cardiology. There is literally no better place. Iowa's got a fantastic medical school. So does Nebraska. It's just not that school specifically. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
And so Nebraska ended up getting kicked out of that one academic coalition. I think it's like ACC, AAC, one of those two. No, I don't remember what it's called, but like
something. Yeah.
They're the only Big Ten school not in it, but they got kicked out as they were joining the conference. And the reason for that is because you have to put out a certain number of peer-reviewed studies every year. Well, agricultural studies aren't peer-reviewed, and all of the peer-reviewed studies were coming out of University of Nebraska Medical Center,
which is separate.
Yep, it is a separate fourth university. It's fun, but it also sucks.
Yeah.
I used to know the president of the university system. He's a genuinely bad person.
Oh.
He does not care about the people. He just cares about the institution and the name that it has. I do not like him as a person. His family's fantastic. I think it's his granddaughter that's currently a gymnast at the University of Oklahoma. It was like
cool.
A huge deal when she got offered by them full ride scholarship and everything. So I mean,
yeah. That's a pretty good rivalry right there.
But yeah, they talk to the University of the President system. They talk to the president of the university system during every Husker football game, because technically they are a massive part of the athletic department. They're the ones that have direct control over the athletic director. Way more than like Iowa or Iowa State, because Wendy Winterstein would have a tough time firing Jamie Pollard, who needs to do some firing of his own right now. Did you see those comments about the head coach for Iowa State women's soccer?
Yes.
Like he would disparage players,
Yes,
and
I
then
did see that.
told one she needed breast reduction surgery, which like, okay, sure, but you're her coach. That's not a comment that you should be making to your player who has made it that far. Like you chose to have her on your team.
Hmm.
You could just say bye bye, and then you can cite the reason, well, she wasn't playing well enough. Okay, it's weird, but okay. And
Yeah,
like Jamie Pollard needs to fire him, and then he needs to take accountability and be like, look, that was a bad thing. I can only say sorry.
yeah. I Women's sports are just.
It's you know, and
I
it's
love
tough. It's tough because then you hear like everybody loves Iowa State women's basketball.
it. Hmm.
There have been people that have called out the program for maybe being a little bit misogynistic in how it's presenting the environment to the players because I guess that they're trying to make it like a quote unquote family environment.
Uh-huh.
And Fennelly will talk a lot about things that are seemingly like traditional values that women in the family should hold. I don't know because I'm not there, so I can't really
Yeah.
comment on other than
Well, if they're trying to make it a family environment, first of all, Ashley Jones's dad needs to never ever be there, ever,
I have
because
no comment on him. I don't condone him. I don't
she's a fantastic player.
in person.
She's fantastic. Um, and
Her dad's actions are not good though. I can say that.
he, he is a textbook narcissist because he can't keep his shit together, even for his kid. Like,
Not,
you have to take all of the focus off of her and put it on you. You just, yeah. Um,
I do think that people kind of maybe shouldn't seek out to make comments on him whenever his restaurant pops up on Iowa City Police Scanner because
I
seems that
think it's closing.
that's I mean not good. I don't want people to lose their livelihood or anything like that. But
He's
I I don't know. It's I feel like it's a very tough subject. I just don't like how the only people that ever seem to like really go after him are Iowa fans, and then Iowa State fans will talk about like the Jones sisters, and somebody will be like, "Yeah, but their dad, dude, that's not the topic. Let's
no,
let's keep
yeah,
focused."
no,
But both sides are guilty of doing stuff like that. I'm not gonna pretend that we're saintly ourselves.
yeah. Um,
I bring
there's
it.
a couple. Yeah, there's a couple like um, every time a recruit posts Iowa as one of their finalists, there's a couple of state and a couple of Nebraska fans who um, talk about racism. And it was, is it all better now? Probably not. Is it better? Yeah, absolutely it is.
At least nobody's getting told that they're gonna be sent back to the ghetto anymore.
Yeah. I Iowa doing bad this season. Like Iowa
Nepotism.
best season. Um, well, I will defend Kirk and Brian until my dying day. So, yeah. But some of these people are like, do you think we pushed Doyle out too fast?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we push him out fast enough. He,
Also, he was the strength coach. People
yeah,
definitely people conflate very very much.
yeah. Yeah. So he worked with the offensive line
Mhm.
quite a bit, but
So did Brian Ferentz.
yeah.
So
So
I mean,
we don't need to bring him back. And no, that isn't the problem. Not even close. Not even close. And I can't stand it when people say that.
how much
Like,
how much caffeine does this have? Because I am buzzing. 300 mgs, 300 milligrams of caffeine. Holy fuck! I'm not sleeping. God, I'm either gonna be just destroying it on Call of Duty tonight. COD releases in like 30 minutes, I
oh,
think.
nice.
So I'm stoked. If it's not already out, it might be out because they were saying 9 Pacific, which is midnight Eastern. So like it might be out. I'm stoked. I grew up on the Modern Warfare series, and
Uh-huh.
that's what we're on Modern Warfare 2 now. I'm stoked. I'm ready. I'm like
I
jacked up.
I don't yeah, I don't do much video games. I used to be really good at Tetris.
Oh, I love Tetris. Oh, I love Tetris. We need another just pure Tetris game. We do.
Now I do like adult real life Tetris by loading the dishwasher and my car.
I I had to load a whole home gym. It was a whole universal gym with a high-low system. That's where it has this extra pulley cable system on the side. Um, just a neat little thing. I tweeted about Precor having shit manuals. That was why I had to take that apart in as few pieces as possible. Total, it was about 7 pieces ish. So I was feeling it. I was like, hmm, yeah. Um, I had to put it into a Honda Pilot.
Yeah.
It's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Honda Pilots are barely 12 feet long.
Huh?
That was interesting. I was playing Tetris there.
Yeah.
I I know I love video games because they're a better escape than substances. I
Yeah.
I have a problem with addiction. Um, I was not doing well with it for a while. Ended up
Mm-hmm.
I no longer gamble. I can't gamble in the state of Minnesota anyway. I got kicked out for counting cards too much. Um, counting cards is
Oh.
people think that counting cards is super hard. It's really not. You learn the system. It just takes practice. Like, and if they're not shuffling after every hand, you can easily count. I mean, you could count 20 decks in the shoe. Like, it's not the world's hardest thing. It's not like Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover where he's like if they see you like muttering to yourself, you're gone immediately. They're like, "Hey man, go play another game." But I can't
Yeah.
gamble in Minnesota anyway. So,
So you know.
but
Uh,
it's also tough because my girlfriend's mom works at a casino.
uh-huh.
She works in the cage, and I might have to work at a casino because I need another job really badly.
Yeah.
To be able to afford, to live.
Food. Yeah.
I can go without the food for a little bit, but the whole sleeping on the streets thing, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
That was the roughest time of my life. Um, was not fun. Couch hopping for a bit, mooshing off of people because I literally had nothing. Just was not a good time. And yeah, so like I do have issues with then kind of drinking to cope. Um, and then Delta 8 marijuana is legal everywhere. There's a dispensary just down the road from me. Love getting high. It's great. You know what the problem is? Um, I like to get high. And so then I started using that to cope too. And I'm like, aha,
Yeah.
let's keep ourselves in better check. How about? So been working on that, and gaming's definitely a much better coping mechanism. Just being able to play
Mm-hmm.
games, have fun, and Call of Duty's a classic. Love playing that. I like playing Mario. Mario's sick, except that Mario himself sucks ass. Worst character. There's nothing special about him.
The little boy I take care of loves, completely fascinated with Mario.
I
He got a Mario bedroom, and he was Luigi for Halloween. Last week they did a trick or treat, and then he went to his mom's work today, and he was dressed up as Luigi, and his sister made a Toad costume, and they have a piranha plant, and
that's awesome.
that thing is scary. So I sometimes stay at their house, and so his parents can sleep, and then I get up with him in the middle of the night if his alarms go off, whatever.
Sure.
And so I have a bed in his room, and that piranha plant, when you are walking back into the room and all of the lights are off and you turn on a light so you can see to put a trach in the kid,
Right.
that'll scare the shit out of you. And I have a mannequin in my bedroom, but that piranha plant, that one got me.
I like Mario just as an idea, a franchise, whatever. And like, I'm never gonna fault somebody for liking Mario as a character. I'm just saying, compare him to the other Mario characters, and he's nothing to write home about. He's literally the most basic one. Like Luigi jumps higher. Peach can float. She does this little kick with her legs. It's funny. Toad is just tiny and cute, I guess. And then like you start getting into other ones. Well, there's Rosalina. Rosalina's dope as shit. She's one of my favorites, like all time, because she's just sick. She's a better Peach by far.
Whoa. Those are fighting. I grew up with Peach. So like,
I like because right now I'm playing Mario 64.
Yeah, I played on the OG though, where you had to like push down, pull out the cartridge and then blow on it and put it back in.
I used to do that with my Nintendo DS all the time, and then I found out it doesn't actually do anything, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm still gonna do it.
Lies.
I'm like, I'm still gonna do it.
Work. Yeah.
So I'm like, it's gonna do something. It's going to.
I was way better at Duck Hunt than I was at.
Oh, dude, Duck Hunt. I remember playing that at my grandma's house.
Yeah.
I loved that one. I like, God, Nintendo had some of the best stuff by far.
They did.
I absolutely, God, I just love it. I mean, you look at the Mario series itself and how that's progressed. I mean, the 3D Mario games are gorgeous. They're incredible.
Yeah.
And then you get The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda is my second favorite series, all because of one game I played for 15 minutes at my friend's house.
Yep. Zelda is like, you get addicted to Zelda.
I can't wait for the new one to come out, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. God, I'm so excited. I haven't even played Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, dude, this game's gonna be incredible. But like, my favorite game series of all time from Nintendo is Pikmin. God, they're so cute.
What? I don't know that one.
How
do I not know that?
They're little tiny plant because it came out first on the GameCube, which would have been been after your time.
And yes, it was. And Nintendo 64 was the end of my
the end.
Sega Genesis too.
The N64 was a masterpiece. If they would have been smart and learned how to use discs at the time, Nintendo wouldn't have competition. Because now the PlayStation is the best-selling game console of all time, and the
Mhm.
reason for that is because Sony felt slighted because they were working with Nintendo on a CD adapter for just CDs, no movies, no DVDs or anything like that, just CD adapter. Because this was early to mid 90s. DVDs didn't
Mhm.
exist yet, and Nintendo learned of some of Sony's business dealings, and they were like, "No, we don't like that. We're gonna go with Philips instead." That adapter did come out in Japan. Sony felt cheated, so they go, "You know what? We're gonna create a game console." Then the PlayStation 1 comes out, and now it's the best-selling game console of all time.
Yeah. Well,
And it
you know,
amazes people when they learn how old the PlayStation is
I
too.
I absolutely 100% support being petty. So cheers to the petty on Sony.
I
I'm 100% here for it.
Well, and you look at what they've done now. It's like one of my favorite things is when the PlayStation 5 was revealed, Sony brought
Mhm.
in Sony brought in a streamer. She's a big streamer. Her name is Valkyrie, and
Mhm.
she like was talking about it and whatnot, and people were like, "Oh my god, why is this girl telling me about video games?" It's like, well, that girl signed a multi-year, multi-million-dollar deal to stream exclusively on YouTube. She also owns, or is co-owner, I should say, of 100 Thieves, which is a huge content and esports organization. Like, they're so big that they get Lil Nas X to do music videos with them. I just went and saw his.
So
I just went and saw Lil Nas X's concert, and all I could think was, man, 100 Thieves actually like did shit with this guy. Like, it's crazy.
yeah, see, yeah, everybody has the thing that's super cool. I
Mm.
mean,
It's
yeah.
it just blows my mind. And then yeah, gaming's a lot cheaper of a vice than constantly buying watches every time I'm sad.
Yeah, I buy planners and stickers and yeah.
Yeah, I cannot buy a watch every time I'm sad. Like this bad boy right here, I got for like $130,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, no, I couldn't get that for $130 anymore. It's like 235 minimum.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's so I mean not cheap. This one is like 225. One of my dress watches. This one that I'm wearing like 300 something.
uh,
I no longer buy at
so
retail unless it's a really good watch. But
I used to I used to have watches to go with every outfit. Um, yeah, and now I just have my Apple Watch. And um
I don't knock people for having smartwatches. I just like the idea of being able to afford the luxury of having an analog watch.
okay. I I can never find my phone. And so
Yeah, that's a good reason to get a smartwatch for sure.
I have to have this so I can find it in my back pocket.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
understandable.
that's most of the time where it's at, or it's in my bra. One of the two, that's where my phone is. But
Yeah, I get it.
um,
I absolutely get it.
but I do have serious problem um with the watch bands and phone cases. So I have I got a new phone, so I don't have it anymore. But I had like 18 different colored phone cases and the watch bands to match them. And so I just switched them out for whatever outfit I'm wearing. And that's a that's not good. So like right now, here's my phone case is yellow
Mhm.
too. And my watch band is yellow, and my AirPod case is black, because it's Hawkeye season.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so I get wanting to, like, yeah.
My watches, I get the watches because I love the fact that they're so over engineered. I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
genuinely, they're so over engineered. Like my dream watch, and I mean like beyond a dream at this point with how much it costs, is about $6 million ish, 6.5.
Good Lord.
It is a Patek Philippe. Uh, it is a hand wound movement. No, no, it's fully automatic. My bad. It's fully automatic, so it winds itself so long as it's on your wrist, and it's fully skeletonized, so you can see all of the inner workings of it.
Uh-huh.
And what I like about it is that it's a perpetual calendar, so as long as it's wound, it will know the exact day every day until the date wheel runs out of years. It's good. You know, that's the only issue that it has. It even knows how to tell if it's a leap year. Some
Wow.
and like some of them have moon phases, which means that it
Mhm.
will show you what the phase of the moon is. It's insane. But this one has what's called a minute repeater. Back in the days of like horseback commerce,
Mhm.
merchants would need to find a way to tell the time in pitch blackness. So
Mhm.
an Englishman created what's called the minute repeater. And the minute repeater is this little lever on the side that you activate it, and then it will chime the hours, and then it will chime the minutes.
Interesting.
And it's like, that's literally a grandfather clock, but on a wrist.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like I love the over engineering of them. So that's
Yeah.
why I like watches. And like I will go into trying to find a watch. Like I just the other day found out that Taylor Swift's boyfriend lied during a GQ interview where he was talking about the 10 things he can't live without. And one of them was his watch that he was gifted by her. Um, he claims that the watch is from 1991. Probably is. It's not that hard to find 1991
Mhm.
watches, but then he says that it's a fully automatic Patek. And I'm like, well, it's definitely a Patek, but like, I don't think it's automatic because it specifically was called a Patek Calatrava. It's a very simple, very thin dress watch. It's literally like 6 millimeters thick. It's very, very thin, and
Uh-huh.
it's been around since 1932. They don't make that specific one that he had though in automatic, and I was like, I know this. I'm 90% sure of it. I looked. I was correct. It's not automatic. It's manual. You have to wind it by hand. So I was like, ah, ha 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 ha. And, and I'm explaining this to my girlfriend.
Got
She
it.
was like, how did you find this? And I'm like, well, okay, so here's the exact way that I found it. And I was all like, I had to make sure that he was wearing something that was actually at least made around 1991, and it was. And I was like, but this is the historic one from the 1970s that the new one was based off of that has this specific kind of bezel, and then blah 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 blah. They never made it in automatic, never. I was like,
That that's how that's the same thought process of women checking out their friends' new boyfriends. That's the excess we go to find out. Yeah.
man,
So-
I man, dudes when they their friend gets a new partner, they're just all like, is she hot? And
Yeah.
the dude will be like, yeah, and he'll send a picture, and it's like, yeah, nice job, man.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because
Um,
like until they give us a reason to not like them, we have no reason not to like them. So
yeah. We're not like that.
I can tell, man.
We've been lied to a lot.
I
So,
dudes will do that. I will admit that
yeah.
dudes are shitty. Dudes are
Yeah.
shitty to dudes. It sucks being a dude. It sucks
You
being a dude
know,
because dudes suck.
women are bitchy too. So, unless we're drunk in a bathroom and
Drunk
like,
women in a bathroom are.
oh my goodness, if everybody got along the way drunk women in bathrooms get along, this world would be an amazing place.
Yeah,
Um,
they're just so nice.
sometimes I still think about people that I've met in the bathroom and drunk, and I think, I wonder how they're doing. Because that's just, yeah,
I have ran into drunk women in the bathroom. It was the men's
yeah,
bathroom. Um,
that sounds about right. That tracks.
she was already in there using a urinal.
I have gone into men's bathrooms with friends who had to pee or puke and kicked the men out. So she the bathroom.
I I mean, unless I'm in the middle of it, I would definitely leave. I wouldn't have that much of an issue with it. But like if I'm in the middle of trying to like push out a fat log, you will have to fight me for it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Or
But
like just mid piss. Cutting off the stream hurts. It is not fun.
yeah,
That's but like otherwise, if I'm just starting or just finishing, I'm like, yeah, okay.
okay, cool, whatever. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, who cares? As long as people feel safe,
Yep.
it's not
Uh,
hard to be accommodating.
yeah, it's not at all.
But this,
Usually.
but this episode
Usually.
is coming in on just about 3 hours now, and
Oh yeah.
I need to
Okay.
use the restroom really, really badly.
Well,
So,
yes.
uh, so I will say, Amy, it was absolutely fantastic talking to you tonight.
Yeah, you too.
Do you have any last thoughts? Anything that you'd like to plug or promote?
Um, follow me on all social media. I'm S'more Chick. Because s'mores are a hot mess, and so am I. So this fits. And my new podcast coming up. You can check it out on Twitter. It's Hot Mess Hour. But the name of the podcast will be the Hot Mess Happy Hour with Sweet Chicks. Uh, so, yeah, I'm excited about that coming up. But um, other than that, uh, just we started talking about. I came on here to talk about domestic violence, and we kind of went off on like 18 tangents there. But
That's what tends to happen here. Is like,
yeah,
I mean, shit.
that's how.
We had one episode that went 5.5 hours because suddenly we look in chat and oh, there's Dylan. Dylan's like, hey, can I hop on? Well, shit. That night he ended up buying me his jersey, so that was.
Nice, nice.
But
Yeah. So, um, in reference to domestic violence, just if somebody comes to you, believe them.
down in the
It's
description.
not something you want to. It's not something you want to that you're going to make up. Believe them.
Say down in the description. I've put the phone numbers of a couple of different resources. One in Iowa City specifically, and then the other one, the national hotline. Their number as well. Um, because yeah, if anything that we talked about here today resonates with you, um, those are resources that you need to know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I'm available for DMs or whatever if people have questions or just need to talk to somebody. Or check everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of the places. So,
well, Amy, I really appreciate you coming on talking about everything that we did.
yes. Thank you for inviting me. This was
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely, absolutely. I avoided listening to your appearance on um, Old Man Strength. That's what it's called.
Yep.
specifically because I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm repeating questions if I do. So, um,
No, it was
but
completely different.
but it
Completely different.
was absolutely incredible being able to hear a little bit of your story. And yeah, I'm not fancy like my co-host Jason, so I don't have actual credits. But with that, I will say roll clones and roll credits.
Go Hawks.
See you guys later.
Thank you.